Okay, we have Michael here, and he has a 61
Biscayne. Chevy
Biscayne.
Biscayne, yes.
So tell us about it.
So about 12 years ago, our family used to go to the local movie theater. And there used to be a place over there called the Garage. And prior to the movies, we used to always go inside there and look at the vintage cars. And this one was sitting there for a couple of months, kind of dusted, sitting in the back corner. And my daughter was just getting ready to turn 15, so I was like, you know what, it'd be nice to get a vintage car versus something new. And I kind of convinced my wife to let me go ahead and buy it. So the idea was, or the premise was, let's buy this for my daughter. In the back of my mind is like, I'll end up getting it one way or another. So we ended up doing that. A couple of months later, we actually made an offer and we picked it up, got it home. And it needs some work. I mean, as you can see, the paint job was already done, but it needed some elbow grease. So my son and I, slowly but surely, in the past 12 years, did a lot of the detailing work, cleaned up the engine bay, took all the essential stuff out, air conditioning. Just wanted to be able to see the motor, put everything at the bottom. And again, just so you can show it off, the mechanics of it. There's no air conditioning, there's no radio. It's just listening to the motor and being able to cruise down the boulevard. Did some custom work on the interior, pulled out the dash, and put all the newer gauges on there, and put an air ride system on it.
Okay. The engine is?
It's a 350 crate motor.
Okay.
On a 350 turbo automatic transmission. Very reliable, aftermarket radiator, no problem with ever overheating. Got a custom kind of NASCAR style exhaust tips on the side, kind of your side pipes if you will.
As far as interior, then?
An interior, it was just custom laid out, and the dashboard, my son and I customized ourselves. Just to give it that racy style look. It has an I Did It steering system in it. So you have your tilt wheel, and again, just being able to safely drive down the boulevard without having any issues.
I'm gonna give you my card.
She sits pretty much down to the ground as it's parked. But when you want to go ahead and drive it down the boulevard, it's on airbags. You hit the button, it comes up, and it drives like a Cadillac, nice and smooth.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And a nice little custom toy that matches it.
That's cute. As far as anything else custom on the bumper or taillights, it's all pretty
Everything's
original?
stock. All the chrome trim has been deleted off the car. So that's kind of why it looks a little bit different. But it is stock body-wise. Nothing's been touched on the body. It is a Biscayne, not a bubble top, so you kind of, what I call the reverse baseball cap.
Okay.
On the roof line with the porch top on it. It's a little rare stuff that's you don't see too much of nowadays.
Okay, and the two-door.
Yes.
Thing, yeah. Well, thank you very much. Great
Thank
car.
you.
Thank you. Okay, we have Kip here. He has a 1974 Pantera, and tell us about it. You got it. It was someone else had finished it and built it out. Was a football player? Or?
He was an NFL football player in Florida, and I actually found it through one of the shops out here in California who had built the car, and so we were able to make contact with the guy in Florida and end up buying it, and it turned out to be a pretty long process because he was real attached to the car, and it's been in the family its whole life. So, we were real pleased to get it. We did extensive work when we got it back here in California, just making it drive right and making it all functioning and and it's taken about almost a year to kind of finish it off, and just finished with custom seats in it, which were designed, and just having fun with it.
So tell us about the motor.
The motor is a 351 Windsor motor, and it has been punched out to 427, roller cam, aluminum heads. It's a 600 horsepower car, and so everything pretty much you see is just underneath as well has been polished. Suspension, fully adjustable suspension, and
So with the nitrous, that'll add
another 200
another
horsepower.
200 horsepower.
Yeah.
You need that.
Yes.
So let's look at the interior. Okay, can you tell us about who helped you put this thing together?
Well, I actually went to Cars and Coffee. One of my buddies talked me into going on a Saturday. I hadn't been into Corvettes my whole adult life, and building them and showing them NCRS. And then he talked me into going to a car show, and I was out without a car. And so all of a sudden I stumbled upon a really nice looking red Pantera, and I went, wow, that is really a great car. And I remember as a kid seeing one in town, you know, a yellow one. And so about 48 hours later, I was in PI Motorsports in Orange, and Jerry started giving me a little bit of spiel on the cars, and then he says, well, what you're looking for, I built for a guy in Florida. And he says, let me go get a magazine, and then he showed me the magazine, and the car was displayed in the magazine. Quite nice. So within about 2 hours, I was actually speaking with the owner of the car in Florida, and that was quite nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so, you know, after the deal was done and we got it back in, Jerry helped me at PI Motorsports with the car, and then also out of Buena Park, Extreme Pantera, so they helped me too, and get the car back in running order. And so
It's a beautiful car, and then with that 351, there's all kinds of fun things you can do with that. So it's fun.
yeah. So it's kind of been done to this car, so there's not much that I had to do with the motor because it was pretty much ready. So
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about a Pantera, I always thought, is that from any angle, it's a cool looking car.
it does. It's got a nice look.
And then even though the engine's right behind your head, you've got that insulated fairly well, but you probably want to hear it anyway.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.